If you know that you don't like money, you hate money, you don't want to have anything to do with wealth and success, then keep scrolling. But if you want to become rich, you know that money is important, and you want to grow old and look back to be happy and excited that you made the right investment, you started the right business, then you need to listen to what I want to share. I grew up around people that struggle to pay bills, struggle to get the basic things out of life, like feeding, shelter, housing. These basic things of life, it was a struggle to get them. That is the kind of childhood I had, and I believe that is the same for most Africans and most Nigerians. I knew that this was not the right way to live, so I started a journey to study successful people, read a lot of books on riches, Your Magic Power to Be Rich, Think and Grow Rich, and a lot of books like that. And I studied a lot of wealthy and successful people, and I've been able to gain valuable information. So the person speaking to you knows what he's saying. And if you want to live a successful life, especially if you're a young person, then you need to take what I want to share with you seriously. In my journey to learning about wealth, prosperity, and success, I read a lot of books, and one of the books that I read that helped me, changed my mindset, helped me to have a different and fresh perspective on money and how to make money, was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. This book changed my life, and I figured that instead of you going back to read the book, I was able to summarize the valuable information in this book, and I want to share those information with you. Believe me that if you can understand, if you can apply these things, change your mindset, you are going to start your journey towards financial independence. And as an African, as a Nigerian, or whatever family background you came out from, you're going to become that global person. Now, it is not in a lustful way. I know that there are people who are successful, who are wealthy, but they are not proud of the things that they did to achieve that success. But all the principles I'll be sharing with you are moral, they are ethical, they are things that you can be proud of, that you can teach other people, your children, your grandchildren, and you can create generational wealth. I am in that journey to creating generational wealth. I need people who are tired of poverty, who want to make the best out of their lives, to listen to this. What other thing can you do with your time than just listening to this that can change your life forever? So I've been able to summarize the book, and I want to share with you the valuable information I learned from that book. And the first thing I learned is that there is no advantage to poverty. This sounds very simple, but do you know that some people still believe that it is okay to live a simple, poor life? That is okay. But I want to tell you that, especially in the times that we are living in, there is no advantage to poverty. Of course, if you've stayed alive for a long time, you must have heard this saying that everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage, everything has a disadvantage has an advantage, but there is no advantage to poverty. There is no reason why you should think of getting poor, or think of remaining poor, or think of just being poor. There is no reason. To live a complete, successful life, you need money. To live to the best version of your life, to live to your full potential, you need a lot of money. To develop yourself spiritually, you need money. To develop yourself mentally, you need money. To stay alive, you need money. So there is no advantage to why you need to be poor. Get rid of that mindset. Fight it with the whole of your heart. Any mindset that tolerates poverty or just want to remain small, there is no advantage to poverty. That's the first thing you should know. And that's the first thing I learned from that book, that there is no reason why you should be poor. Every area of your life, whether you want to get married, whether you want to help people, you need money to do the basic things in life. You need money for clothing, you need money for mobility, you need money for building things, for invention. That your great idea needs money. And there is no reason why you should be poor. There is no reason why you should be, there is really no reason why you should allow poverty to ruin your life. So get angry with living poor. Get angry with poverty. Poverty is going to make you compromise. No matter how you think that you are strong, the absence of money will make you compromise on your values, on your character, make you do things that you do not believe that you can do. Yeah, so there's no advantage to poverty. Number 2, the second thing I learned in that book is that there are certain laws that govern riches. And if you know these laws, you master them, you obey them, you are definitely going to get rich with mathematical certainty. Irrespective of where you grew up, maybe you grew up in one of the poorest cities in your country, grew up in one of the poorest places in your state, in your city, there are certain laws that govern riches. And if you can learn those laws, you can master them, you can obey them, believe me, you are definitely going to get rich. Don't think that, of course, Nigerian or Africans, we are at a disadvantage. That doesn't mean that you cannot be rich. It doesn't mean that you cannot be wealthy. The laws, which is the laws that govern prosperity and money and riches and wealth creation, is universal. If you can apply those laws, you are definitely going to be rich. I'm speaking to somebody now that you should stop giving excuses about the places you grew up and all of that. That if you can apply the principles that governs wealth and money and riches, you are definitely going to get rich. Whether you are tall, whether you are short, whether you are fat, whether you are slim, no matter your body structure, no matter anything, if you can apply those laws with mathematical certainty, you are definitely going to get rich. That's the second thing I learned from that book. Number 3, that your environment is important, but it is no excuse to why you are not rich. Of course, your environment can contribute to your riches and all of that, but it is not an excuse to why you are not rich. If environment were the only thing that makes people rich and successful, everybody within a specific location would be rich. Is that true? Maybe everybody in the US would be rich, they'll be wealthy, but it's not everybody in US that is rich. So environment is important, but it is no excuse to why you are not rich. Stop giving excuses on, came out from a poor background. My environment is not support. There are no opportunities in my environment. That is true, but then it is not enough reason to why you should be poor. There are people who have come out of very, very poor background, poor environments, and they are doing a lot globally today. So your environment is not enough excuse to why you should be broke, to why you should be poor. Right? Yes, it is not enough reason. The next one thing I learned in that book, a lot of things I learned, but just summarize them. Next thing I learned in that book is that talent is good, but riches doesn't depend solely on talent. You need to let this sink. That talent is good, because a lot of people believe that they are not talented and that is why they are broke. Some people believe that because they are not the best footballers, they are not the best musicians, and they are not talented in whatever thing that they want to go into, and as a result they've given up or they've lost hope. Talent is good, but I can tell you that a lot of people who are successful, a lot of them are not the most talented in their fields. A lot of people who have made success from their fields, they are not the most talented. In fact, the most talented are busy struggling. So talent is good, but just because you're not very talented doesn't mean that you cannot be rich. There are people who are not talented, but they are doing a lot of things in their environment, in their society, in their country. So riches does not solely depend on talent. There is a saying that hard work beats talent. If talent is lazy, or if talent is sleeping, if talent is not doing anything, hard work will eventually beat talent. And it is true for different people today, that riches does not solely depend on talent. Yeah. Next thing I learned from that book is that doing the same business with another person does not guarantee that you'll be as successful as them. Very important. Doing the same business with, a lot of people, because they believe that, oh, this is what is running, they'll eventually go to pick up the business to do. Doing the same business with a particular person who is successful does not mean that you're going to be successful as them. Riches depends on doing things in a certain way. So even if you do the same business with the same person who is rich, it does not guarantee that you're going to be successful in that business. You need to first develop the skills, everything that is required to be wealthy before even thinking of doing a business, because riches starts with you, not something external. It starts with you. It starts with your thinking. It starts with having the skills, the things that are required to be successful. You have to do things in a certain way in order to be rich. So don't think because Mr. A is doing a particular business, if I go into it, I'm going to be successful. A lot of people go into forex trading thinking that, yeah, that's where the money is. No guarantee, no issue that there's money in forex trading, but it does not mean that if you go into forex trading, you are going to be rich. There are a lot of businesses that people just say, oh, go and do this, go and do this, go and if you do, you're going to be rich. It is not a guarantee. And that's why people are getting frustrated. They are seeing their mates doing a lot of things and they feel like, oh, this person is successful in this thing, I'm going to do it and I'm going to be successful. But they receive the shock of their lives that just because a person is doing something does not mean that if you do, you're going to be successful. Look for what you can do. Something that is related to your goal, to your ambition, to your build. Of course, think of those things, and that is where your money is, not just because somebody is doing something and you want to do it. Yes, so doing same business with some other person does not mean that you're going to be successful in that business. Now, finally, on today's video, the first step to becoming rich is how you think. I can tell you that the first step to becoming rich starts from how you think. It was Napoleon Hill that said, thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. You cannot be wealthy if you don't first become wealthy in your mind. You know why? Because once you have that money, if you are not first rich in your mind, you are going to lose everything. There are people who have become successful through betting, different lottery things and all of that, and they've lost all the money. Because wealth is not just physical money. In fact, wealth begins from how you think, because how you think will now determine your action, and what you now do will eventually turn out to be whether you're going to be wealthy or not. So the first step towards becoming rich is how you think. I believe you've learned something today. Yes, I'm going to be sharing other things that will help you become successful. So click on the subscribe button, drop your comments, and share your thoughts. I want to read them. Thank you and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.